What is good, y'all? SGG Game, man. It's your boy SmooveGotGame back with another Detroit Tigers rebuild. And yes, I know I missed a couple of days of uploads. Sorry, your boy's been going through a lot recently. It's even been tough for me to push out the last couple of weeks of content, but I'm back now. I am pushing forward with everything. So hey, if you love the return to the series and want to go ahead and send a quick prayer my way, hit the like button. You know, one like equals one prayer, as they always say. Comment down below how you guys are enjoying the series, if you're ready for another off season, and subscribe as always. As we're going to get through yet another off season, we'll be simulating through the postseason, making a couple more big moves. I don't feel like the team has too many more missing pieces, but of course we will get in that too when we get into the off season. For right now, let's go ahead and check out the end of the year stats, because I forgot to check this out at the end of the last video. Thankfully I didn't simulate forward though. As we want to go ahead and check out, as you see here, CJ Cron actually played every game this season. It's the first time in his career he's played all 162 games, probably because he was actually in the field most of his career. And this time we had him at the DH role. Played every single game this year. Obviously had the most at bats because of it. Only fourth most hits though. As you can see, that average was down about 247. Morris Jones, the rookie, leading the way with 179, batted over 300 this season, 70 walks, I actually had 34 strikeouts, which is actually pretty much a lot, but had the 40-40 club and almost had the 50-50 with 49 doubles this season, 43 stolen bases. He probably could have reached it. It was pretty close with 83 runs as well. So very good rookie season. He led us in a lot of categories and was at least in the top in some of the league too. So I don't know how he didn't even get rookie of the year. I guess they value home runs more than anything. As you see, the other rookie, Keith Clemens, 29 homers, 86 ribbies. He only had 129 hits, batted 287. That's exactly, what you can ask for. My dude's hitting almost 30 home runs, batting about 280, OPS around 900. 25 doubles, only 89 Ks too. So he's not striking out a lot, coming with the power that he has. And since his power is mostly on the right side, we'll see more right-handed batters. We have a lot of good things coming our way. Now, we had 4 guys hit over 20 home runs this season, but the one thing I think we're still missing is that guy to get around 100 RBIs, at least give me 90, but we're missing that kind of key component. We're not scoring enough runs when we're getting guys on base, and that's something we got to fix. Now, Jace Jung here had a great September call-up, a lot of boost to his ratings. He's up to a 74 overall now, went 6 for 18, 1 homer, 5 RBIs, and I think he's definitely earning at least a spot in my mind to spring training with heavy consideration into being on the actual line roster moving into next season. There's also Gleyber Torres. If we make that move, that would be him, Torres, Keith Clemens. What would that do for somebody like, Baez? Does he stay with the team? His contract is big, and considering big on a bench role is not exactly enticing to me. Who knows what can happen with him? You see the caught stealings, the errors, Spencer Torkelson with 13 over at first base. Maybe trying to replace that too as well. We got to help out with our errors. Keith Clemens led us in WAR with a 5, Gleyber Torres with a 4.1. And this is just, I guess, speaks to a reason why Keith Clemens got rookie of the year. I mean, he led the team in WAR, mostly a lot of power. And I thought, since it was fair, when you get rookie of the year in Madden, you get a development trait, boost. So just up 1. So I figured, why not here? Just give him a straight 10-point boost to his potential from a 78 to an 88. That seemed like the most fair thing to me. If you guys have other thoughts, please let it be known in the comment section down below. Get active. But he led the team in ISO 2 with a 262, which I think 200 and plus is good. Hitting near 262, that's probably like all-star, mostly why he got rookie of the year level. Now we switch over to the pitchers though. Tariq Skubal, obviously CY Young winner of the year, 22-4. Probably the most wins I've actually had in my series. Combining with this with the Reds one, I don't think anybody was able to put that level of stats on that side either. Luis Severino had a pretty good season too as well. Jackson Jobe, you see here, despite his walk per nine being at a decent spot, he led the team in walks with 81 and about third in strikeouts with 142. Almost had 200 strikeouts for Tariq, but I like where the pitching is this season. I think honestly it was just growing pains. Matt Manning, Jackson Jobe, and Casey Mize are all young. I would love to get one more arm in there to challenge them, to have somebody step up. But I really think these upcoming seasons, Casey Mize is going to take, I think, another step forward. He's got A potential. He's already at 84 overall. He keeps growing. I think Jackson Jobe, as a rookie, 22 years old, already at a 78 B potential. So I mean, not too much more room for him to go, but I think he can still grow and lower that ERA. And then Matt Manning, I think, actually has a pretty decent season. He finished the season great, getting his ERA below 4 finally. So I think the starting rotation is good. Our bullpen pitched amazing this year. You see a lot of low whips here, 106, 108, 118. Those are more or less the ones that I looked at for my relievers. I mean, of course, I want the relievers to still have below a 4 ERA, but that whip, if that whip is low, it means you're not giving up a whole lot of hits, you're not giving up a whole lot of walks, and we're getting out of those innings efficiently. So that's what I look for my bullpen. The main thing I look for my starters, how many quality starts to game starts you got, because obviously the bats can sell you sometimes. So this is, in my mind, when I see quality starts, that's how many wins you should have had this season. Casey Mize 11, Jackson Jobe's 13, Matt Manning 17. Even somebody Tariq Skubal could have had 28 wins this season. So like Those are the numbers I really look for to show me what is going on, how efficient you are being in your games. Now, over here, you see home runs given up. I saw 28, 23, 21, and 20. I saw a lot of 20s here at the top, and I started to get worried. I was like, oh, that can't be good. So one of the first things I want to do is just check out other teams' home runs allowed. And it looks like, a lot of teams, even like the Blue Jays, had 4 guys over 20. Some of these teams got 5 guys over 20 home runs. Some have a guy that's at 30 with the Royals, which them being way in the back kind of explains it. But I guess I'm okay with numbers like that. I guess that's pretty league average for home runs given up. Tariq Skubal obviously led the team in WAR with a 6.9. Casey Mize actually, surprisingly enough, had a 3 WAR despite having a 4.6 ERA, 1.4 WHIP. He came in and produced later in the season to lower that, and I think he started to get on a hot streak as the season ended too as well, really lowering everything for him. And you see here the walks per 9, we got 3 guys over 4, which I don't like to see. Nobody really above in the double digits, and strikeouts per 9. The home runs per 9 is, if you're above 2, Jason Foley over there, somebody maybe not even looking at bringing him back or just putting back in the minor league system, because that is definitely not good numbers. FIP of a 5.8 is terrible. But y'all already know what time it is, man. Our 3 candidates for team MVP of the season: Morris Jones, Keith Clemens, and Tariq Skubal. The stats are up on the screen. Take those into consideration. Take the season into consideration and go ahead and vote. There will also be another option if you think somebody else on this team produced just a little bit better to be named team MVP. And we'll go ahead and announce that hopefully at the start of the season, if I don't record it beforehand. But we will announce that in the beginning part of the season, who you guys vote for. So it'll be in the community tab. Head over there to go vote or comment on the video to show where your stance lies. So let's go ahead and just go back into postseason action here. As what we're gonna do is just take different teams, take it from their advantage points, and see what kind of happens. I did get a offer to show more gameplay from other teams, and we will when it has more impact for us. So when we're in the postseason and we're waiting for like another team to finish, let's say we win the first round and we're waiting for the other teams to finish there in the game 5, we'll go watch it. Even if they're game 4, we'll go watch games 4 and 5. I'll put them together in the highlights, shrink them down and put them together. Definitely, especially if we go to the World Series, or not, if we're waiting to go to the World Series, we need the NLCS, for example, we'll definitely be looking at stuff like that. So here, as you can see, we go ahead and move over to the Dodgers after the Yankees got beat, and it looks like they are going to follow suit here, actually going to a game 5 against the Padres, and they end up losing that one too as well. So as we jump back into the bracket really quick to go ahead and just check out what's been going on, you can see the Angels beat the Rangers, Blue Jays beat the Yankees, and then end up beating the Guardians, and then you got the Astros beating the Angels too as well. So we got Blue Jays and Astros on one side. You see the Dodgers beat the Giants. Philly ended up winning, and of course moving forward, and now they're playing the Padres here. It looks like they're going to end up taking out the Padres. Smooth work there. Okay, so it looks like they ended up taking them out. It looks like that was in 6 games. So Philly will be taking on Toronto in the World Series, man. After Toronto beat the Astros in 6, they won in 6. So it should be a pretty interesting World Series. Nobody from our division made it, thankfully, so I don't have to worry about that kind of contention when trying to take the division next year. And wow, a win and then 3 straight losses. Bounce back with another win, and the Blue Jays win this one in, looks like 6 games here, as your Toronto Blue Jays are this year's World Series champions. And I wanted to just go ahead and take a look. Let's see what they did this season. They were the first team in the AL East, 87 and 75. Not even like a top seed, obviously. I can't see like where the runs scored, runs allowed, and stuff like that were per se. But as far as a roster goes, obviously they still have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They also have Alex Manoah. He's a 96 overall A potential, only 27. Alejandro Kirk, Bo Bichette, Kevin Gausman. So they had some pretty good starters, even though 13 and 7, not too bad. Guerrero, almost 40 home runs, 100 RBIs is good. And the roster looks pretty young. I see a lot of guys up here in the top part at about 26, 27 years old. And then you look at the starting pitchers, I see some guys in their 22, 28. There's not a whole lot of guys in their 30s. Even in the bullpen, not a whole lot of guys in their 30s for real. So, I mean, this looks like a roster from top to bottom, decently young. I think that they are in their World Series window here where they could possibly end up, being contention level type team for at least another 2-3 seasons. As long as they're able to keep their free agents around and not really lose too many pieces. A lot of these guys are young. Now they need to build up their farm system, so they got guys to cycle back through. They got a couple big names like Tobias Underwood there in right field that could potentially take over later. World Series MVP ends up going to Cody Bellinger, who's on the Blue Jays this season. Vladimir Guerrero takes overall postseason MVP though. 8 home runs throughout the postseason, batting .338, 25 RBI. See, that's what I'm talking about. dominated his team in RBIs. And then you look on the other side, for the NL side, it's Brendan Rodgers, only 14 RBIs, 6 homers though, 324 average. Those are the type of guys that we need on our team, the type that can put up a whole bunch of RBIs, home runs in a short period of time. Now, of course, here my contract has come up, and thankfully we did well enough with our GM contract to at least get an offer extended back to us from our original team, so I won't have to worry about switching. That could be an interesting factor though that comes up. If we do bad enough, I might not be able to get a contract extension with this team. We might have to switch mid-series, which I think would be an interesting twist. Let me know if that would be, we just fail the challenge, or do we keep the series going? Let that be known in the comment section how you guys feel about what would happen if we didn't. Now the Cardinals, Mets, and Braves all want to offer me contracts here though, so we could go to the NL side, get a way better budget than we got with the Tigers. But I'm just gonna go ahead and stay here with my team. Obviously, this is the series that we're working off of, and we gotta hire a new farm director coach. So quick look at retirements. We didn't have anybody, and there were also no huge names. I mean, Matt Carpenter, who will finish up his career on the White Sox, is now out of here. But other than that, there was no other real like huge big names, and nobody went to the Hall of Fame this season. So no inductees, no big retirements. Everything is kind of kosher for the video. Now you see we got everybody signed to 1-year deals right now. I don't think there's a way to extend them from the screen. So I'm just gonna go to the farm directors, and I saw Pablo sign. Come on, 2 clutch, 2 power, 3 reaction, plus 1 strikeout per 9. I love it when they got 4 straight pluses across the board, and all 4 of them help out with something. So simple contract here, 3 years is what he's looking for. He's looking for about 1.4 million a season, anywhere between 2 to 4 years too. So I up it just a little bit to make sure we get him, because these are really good stats now. I'm get some more power, some more clutch, some more strikeouts, and we need help in the field. So it made sense to me. Now going to our restricted or qualifying offer free agents. Andrew Chafin is one of them. I didn't want to give him a multi-year deal. He's 35 years old. He did have a great season, but who knows when he's going to tank and fall off. I think he might only have one more good year left in him. So instead of offering a huge deal, offer just a 1 year, $6 million. And Jonathan Scope, kind of same thing. His numbers dipped tremendously last year. He's under the downgrass. He's 34 years old. It's time to find a new third baseman of the future. So I'll just offer him just to have a third baseman on roster in case we can't find one in free agency. Just a little 1 year, $4 million deal. Cesar Hernandez, I would love to for nostalgic sake, but he's getting older. He's in the minor leagues. Same thing with Chasson and Jose Cenero. None of those guys are at the major league level or fighting for a major league level spot, and haven't done good up here at the major league level when they have come up. So we'll basically be letting all 3 of those guys test for agency, and hopefully they find new teams and new success. Now, with us having emergence from Jace Jung, showing that he could possibly do it, we drafted a couple of good middle infielders that have good high potential. I think it's time we let Javi Baez go, not only for that, but to also help out getting more cap space going into the offseason. We could really use some help with maybe signing a couple of big names to really drive this team towards the postseason. And just looking at all the trades that were possible, there was one in particular that caught my eye. It's right here for Athletics relief pitcher Nathan Vasquez, 18 years old, B potential. He's already at 63 as well. So, I mean, he could easily develop into a really good starting pitch or a really good relief pitcher. And we don't have too many guys with high potential. Dang, cuz I'm over trying to explain my moves, and you gonna deny my contract offer and sign with somebody else? Now I gotta come right back into the farm director system and hire somebody else. But yeah, I think he could grow in our farm system and be a very good reliever for us in the future, especially only being 18 years old. Now, back to finding a new farm director. I'm able to find here David Sanders, somebody else with a straightforward cross positives, +2 power, +3 on his fielding. So that's definitely something that I want to go ahead and get into, because it looks like that could be a very big boost for us. Now, I end up offering him a contract, and I think it's denied almost pretty immediately, as somebody else, I think it was the Braves, swooped in and just went ahead and took him off rip. Now I have to come back in for a third time and find somebody else. And the only other person that I had was Stanley Isaac. I'd offer them both, but I didn't want to get Isaac if there was a chance to get David, because I like David a little bit better. So I ended up taking his offer away for a second and ended up having to offer him right back anyway. So with that being said, we're finally into the open free agency market, and you see it, big names on top. NL MVP for the postseason, Brian Reynolds. AL MVP postseason for the Blue Jays, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., both hitting the market. You got Dylan Cease at starting pitcher. Well, I said I wanted to add another arm. There's also Zach Gallen here. Michael Kopech. I think it's Kopech, right? Still learning people's names. But closing pitcher is also something we need to do. We traded Alex Lange away last season. Had to kind of finish it up with just a normal reliever, but I do like to have a closer on roster. So I wanted to try to go after the best one here. Ryan Hensley. He ended up having the best save, blown save ratio. So I ended up offering him a decent sized contract here. Obviously, we are fighting with people, the Rays, to get him. They're offering 6 years, 70 million. So I'm taking it down a year, giving him more per year than they are, but kind of still try to keep it in budget. You know, we want to be able to sign other big names. So 5 years, 64.8 million, and we're on top. I feel like it was a pretty good offer. Relievers, of course, you always want to go sign at least 1 or 2 other arms that can possibly come in and help out, because especially with our bullpen, we don't have that many in the minors I can just call up if somebody's having a bad season. So maybe send some of our guys down, get guys from free agency if they do bad, send them down, bring our guys up that could potentially have that good look. So here I'm just looking at a couple guys, you know, Alex Reyes, Michael King, Jose Alvarado. I end up selecting here Michael King. I really feel like he's got good numbers. The ERA has been consistently low for a couple of seasons now. 30 years old, so I don't feel too bad about a 3-year deal at all. But you know, $12 million a season, you're not exactly, you know, a starter. So I'm not giving you, you know, that type of money. If you look at the Yankees, they offered him 5 years, and that's roughly like $7 million a season, a little bit over that. So we're dipping down even farther down. I'm saying about 10 million just to make sure I get him. I don't want him to be completely uninterested, because of course you could always have more interest in your hometown team. So there's one deal, and I think it'd be dumb for me not to make this deal. Everything on this bitch is high, great. You got a guy like Vladimir Guerrero, and he's not even asking for too much money, around 21 million a season. That's not a whole lot. He's 27 years old, so I'm not even mad at us, you know, a 6-year deal, but he actually is okay with lowering the years. I don't know why he would be okay with that. I would think you want more years, this way you get more guaranteed money, but who knows what's going to happen over the next 3 years. But he's able to take, you know, 3 years, and he drops his offer down from 21 to 19, taking $2 million a year off the deal. So the Blue Jays offer 6 years, 99. We offer 3 at 60 million. And I go back in and just double check. I'm just going to go 3 at 22 just to make sure we end up getting this man, because we do not want to go back to the Blue Jays. And especially because he might take his time thinking about it. I don't want to lose out on another potential big target in case he does not choose us. Now, going over to starting pitching, we want to take care of this issue. I did want to get somebody. You know, I didn't think that the talent pool would be this good. I did want to get at least one more armor to kind of challenge for that starting spot. And then, if anything, one of the 5 guys we have starting right now would just be our long reliever for the next season, and in case somebody gets cold. So I'm looking at Dylan Cease, obviously, you know, the best option, but he's looking for 27 million a season. I think if I had made this deal, because I'm looking at it and seeing if we have the cap space and the money for it. I think if I ended up making this deal though, at what he would have wanted to and what it would have took to get him, I would have had like 6 million in cap space left, and there were still, at this point, I still have yet to even go do my actual like contract renewal teammates. So I haven't even got to them yet. And yeah, you see like 3 years, 83 million. We're significantly under the White Sox, who are 7, 185, and he's going to definitely take an offer like that over ours. So I was just like, it's not going to be worth it. Like, see somebody like that, I would make the qualifying offer too. So I'm surprised, like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., for example, I'm surprised he didn't get a qualifying offer. So that way, if he left, they would have got a draft pick. So I definitely would have put a qualifying offer on him, because I think somebody else would have paid him that money. Now, with that being said, you know, we need a little bit more cap space. So I end up going ahead and letting go of Jonathan Scope, just because I feel like he could be there for us if Vladimir Guerrero doesn't sign. Regardless, I think he's going to be there a long time. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. Now, like I said, we have our own contract renewals though. Not too many big names, that's why I didn't show it. Here's one of them, Harry Ford at catcher, the new guy that we just traded for. Offer him a multi-year deal to kind of keep him around at least to arbitration. And the only other person that I would talk about, not pretty interesting, is Joey Wentz. He doesn't have, you know, any options left. He hasn't really panned out that well up here. There's not much room for development to keep going. So you know, with all that being said, I just kind of felt the need to leave him alone, let him go get a fresh start with a new team, and hopefully they're able to do something. Now it's arbitration time. We got Matt Brash, who we also traded for and got newly acquired. So I wanted to look at what he was looking for. He's looking for about 3.5 million a year. So yeah, I go ahead and just offer straight arbitration. Don't even plan to play no games with that. Up the contract from 740K to 800K, and we'll just hope that we win that one. Jason Foley, like I said, he had a terrible year up here. I mean, 10 2/3, gave up 9 earned runs already. We go ahead and just let him slide. So there's all the offseason contracts done so far, at least the first initial wave. Next up is just setting the 40-man roster just to make sure that we don't lose any of our guys. So I just look at that list. Anybody that looks like they have a B potential, so basically, you know, the top guys, I just go ahead and add them to the 40-man really quick, just to make sure that we don't lose them in the Rule 5 draft. So that's, you know, Wilmer Flores, Kai Bush. Welcome to the 40-man. Haven't used up any of their options. Both have, you know, decent potentials and decent overalls. So, you know, I'm not mad at it at all if that's what they want to go do. So Jose Alvarado, Ended up offering him a contract. He's no longer interested in it though. Dylan Cease signs to the Mariners. So, congratulations to them, and keep an eye on that pickup. I guess ticker, we can call it, as this will not be the last time we see the Mariners. I'm just going to tell you that, baby. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has signed with the Detroit Tigers. Why did that not pop up on the side of the screen? Welcome to Detroit, my boy. You spent way too long in Toronto. You even went and got you a ring. Now it's time to come get us a ring too. With him as the centerpiece, the offense that we already had last year, the young guys we had make production. If they keep up their production, we add in a power bat to help out Keith Clemens, who isn't even really a power bat. We might be like that. Now it's time to go get our arm, which we lost out, like I said, on Dylan Cease. So now it's time to look up somebody else who has had consistent ERAs, maybe a little bit on the younger side, looking at the stats too. Because I'm looking at Logan Webb here. He's doing okay. The ERAs is consistently basically around the 3.5, low threes area. I'm looking at the FIP numbers to see what those are at. The past 2 years have both been at the 4, and those kind of tip me off too, as well as looking at the stats here for Framber Valdez. He's got way better stamina. He's a little bit older, which we don't want to keep him around that long anyway. So don't have to offer multi years for this. Only a 2-year deal there from the Pirates. So I'm not mad at all about trying to offer this contract. They're at about 2 years, 15 to 16 million basically. So if I go down to 3 years, he's looking for 16.3 million a season. I'm not mad at going in and offer him that contract. I think it's something that also too you can get out of. Let's say that first year does not work out and I want him going on the second year, but also it's not a bad 2-year deal to just eat. So, or 3-year deal to just eat. So 3 years, 16.7 million. I'll make him seem like he's gonna be the ace for right now, just to kind of help out with his want to come here. And we only barely get over the Pirates for their deal. So we'll simulate a little bit more to see what else comes up. Will Smith goes in the side. Zach Gallen. Didn't I tell y'all? The Mariners were not done. And yes, that is their second. Dylan Cease, Zach Gallen. And I go look at their rotation. I'm like, do they need starting pitching that bad? No, they did not. George Kirby, 91 overall. Zach Gallen, 92. Dylan Cease, 94. Logan Gilbert, 89. Luis Castillo, 88. A young guy here with Shamrock at 80. I think he's 22 years old. And you just added 2 new guys to the rotation. So that means Emerson and Sheffield got to go to the bullpen or down to the minors. And they just drastically improved their starting. Not to mention Eliza Hernandez is there too. So that's 3 stars that basically we're gonna have to go down or do something with, because it's not gonna work out. Now, with that being said though, I did want to go try to make a trade with them since they have a bunch of arms there, just in case we can't get our guy to sign. And I was going to try to get Logan Gilbert, a potential at 28, but I can't sign him because he is not on contract. He's actually in arbitration, so they probably just offered him arbitration. So I can't even get to him in a potential trade, which sucks. But looking at third base too as well, since now we have a little bit extra money, looking to just bring in somebody that has good defense, and that is something that Jonathan Scope has provided for us. Fielding's up there in the 90s, accuracy in the 90s. His arm strength isn't always there, but if you can be accurate and get to the ball quickly and efficiently, we don't need much arm strength, right? He can even move over to the inside of the infield and take over a couple of days there. So giving him a bench level contract, we're basically going to offer him that same kind of deal that we just had a second ago, that 1 year, $4 million deal. And we'll just hope that he ends up taking it. So you can see our offers here: Michael King, Chafin, Valdez, and Hensley. As we're going to go ahead and just try to beef these up really quick, as Jonathan Scope did end up signing. Just beef these up real quick just to make sure we're on top still. Angels tried to come in and offer a little bit more money, so we pushed that offer up too as well. And Ryan Hensley, the closing pitcher we want, ends up going to the Cubs. 6 years, $73.2 million. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. I really wanted that closer. So now we have to go back in and hope that there's still somebody there for us to go ahead and grab. So got to come back in and see who's left here. And the first name I see, Jordan Romano. He's not a bad option. He hasn't been much of an actual closer in the past, but ERA is significantly low. 1s, low 2s, only a couple times in the past 5-6 years where it's been above a 2.5, and it's still been below a 3.5. So hit per 9 is very high. His clutch is very high. His break and velo are both at 97. And I think this could be a very good option for us. He's 32 years old, so not a long-term solution, but we did draft a closer that has high overall, high potential, that I think can take over the closing role at about a year or two. So short-term rental, somebody I think we can get out of for sure. And we go ahead and offer him the deal that puts us right on top of that list. So we got 2 relievers, Andrew Chafin coming back, Michael King, getting our closer, and then getting our starter here. Now I saw we were a little bit light on the funds there for, what it would take to get him. So I decided to come in and just raise it up a little bit, get him near the $17 million mark a season here. 3 years, $53 million to make him our ace, just to make sure that we get him over the Pirates. I do not want to lose out on this, especially we're getting this close to the end. I really want to make sure that we are getting all these rest of these guys, because there's going to be slim pickings as soon as we get closer and closer. And that's why I hate why some of these boys be taking their time. You know, it really kind of makes it hard for you to make decisions. And you see here the White Sox end up getting Zach Wheeler from the Phillies. So they're making more trades to try to get themselves back into contention and get themselves a little bit better to win it all. Hunter Renfroe ends up getting traded from the Angels to the Orioles. So that way they can try to get a little bit better, get more in contention in the AL East. Having to defend with the World Series champs. Giving up 2 other outfielders, not even really prospects. I had a middle overall guys for somebody like Hunter Renfroe. So I'm not sure why they would make that trade. It's not up to me to decide here as we go back and check on offers, and I don't like that. We still lead on King there, but Valdez, we are now number 2 behind the Angels. So I immediately jump in, and we're going to up this even more. We were at 3 years, $53 million last time. We're going to up this slightly more, especially now that I know how much money we have too. We have a little bit more money after a couple of, obviously, the trades and the people that we didn't bring back and taking those off the projected budget. We can go ahead and up this one. I'm thinking about getting this around $19 million a season, so about 3 years, $57 million. And that puts us right back over top of the Angels, who are at 3 years, $52 million. So I think they honestly got a little bit boosted from us, just where they are, considering in terms of like, are they contenders or sellers type thing. So I don't think we have the title of contender. Obviously, you know, we're picking 13th in the draft. This is the new draft lottery that you guys get to see in the offseason too. I did see this was updated into the game, so if you guys are enjoying this, I think this is a cool screen. Shows you what the pick odds are for people to get the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, people that made the postseason, so 19 through 30, don't get to compete in the lottery. Percentages go down as you go further, but the top 3 all have the same amount of chance. We're at 13, so we have a 0.9% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. And what they always say, so you're saying it's a chance. So now there's a chance we'll pick at 13. Let's just see how the draft lottery works out. I wonder if we can still move up if it's not for the number 1 pick, though. As it's simulating through. There it is. The Rockies end up with, wow, not one of the top 3, but move all the way into the 1 spot. The Royals drop down to 2. The Brewers jump up 4 spots to number 3. That is amazing. As we also go ahead and get Bomber Valdez, 32-year-old overall pitcher, man, to go in and add into our rotation. He's a lefty too, so that kind of helps out with Tariq Skubal not being the only lefty in the starting rotation. As you guys saw there, we stayed at 13, though. I didn't want to just cut that off for you guys. Yes, we did stay at 13. But going back to these pitchers, though, I think I want to put him at the 3 spot. Let Luis Severino still stay at the 2. He did work at the 2 spot. And it kind of breaks up my lefties, not having them go back-to-back days to kind of help out with spreading out how many people can go lefty, changing up people's batting orders, and things like that. So I think it'll work better at the 3 spot and gives us a very strong 1-2-3 punch, especially when we go to the postseason. As we go into the Rule 5 draft, seeing a couple guys get picked up here, obviously. Not too many. The top 4 go. The White Sox get somebody at 7, and at 9, somebody gets picked up. I'm looking at it. I see some good potentials here. But 31 and 59 overall, that's not going to work. There's Jalen Miller here at second base, 70 overall, but I'm pretty good at second base. Like I said, Jace Jung, Gleyber Torres, Keith Clemens. I feel pretty good about, those 3 there kind of working and circling around as guys get tired. So didn't really feel like a need to kind of bring out here. We also have a lot of people in competition as it is already for these starting rotations, starting lineup spots. So adding in one more name that basically has to be up here, or we give them back, it's kind of like not really a need at this point. I don't really need anybody from the Rule 5 draft. So with that basically being done, we can basically sim to the end of free agency. You see a couple guys getting picked up here late. Dustin May, Jack Flaherty. See, this is where all starting pitchers, I guess, started to get their contracts in. Ty France is going to the Giants too as well. Garrett Whitlock being traded from the Red Sox to the Guardians, so coming into the division. Andres Munoz from the Mariners to the Braves, kind of moving out of some places there. Cal Quantrill being signed by the Phillies as they kind of beef up their roster even more. And we're getting basically into the last 2 months. We only have 1 arbitration offer there, so that's what that 1 star is. As it should be easy simulating through here. We can see a couple last minute signing or big signings. Obviously, there's other big signings too. Matt Brash ends up winning the decision. Only 1.7 though. He was asking for 3.5 though with his contract, so I think we still came out of that with a dub regardless. So I mean, I'll take it. I don't know how to really win those arbitration things. I don't know what they consider fair contracts. In which cases I can win without it, being more than what he wants to do. So I'm pretty happy though. It's still less than what he wanted. And as we look at the final roster spots, man, this is kind of how everything will shake up. We have 37 people on the active 40-man roster. We have a lot of starters, a lot of relievers that's going to be fighting for time. There's my young star at 18, 66 overall, 8 potential. I'm going to definitely move him straight to AA, at least to start off, get him some development there. Maybe end up letting go of like Austin Roberts. He's 27 years old. Let Luis Hidiago go up to AAA because he actually has been killing it too at AA. And then like flip-flopping them. Obviously when Ben Hernandez is ready, if he becomes ready. We'll see how the season goes, though. For right now, I'll keep all 4, but let me know if you think it'd be smart to go ahead and drop one of them. Catchers, we're good there. First base, I think we're really strong here. I don't know why they brought J. Cole up, but hey, go ahead and see what you can do up here in young blood. He hasn't even used up any options yet. Spencer Torkelson, CJ Cron fighting for whoever's going to be DH in first base. Gleyber Torres and Jace Jung at second base, pretty locked down. At third, I do actually want to bring up these two, Harper McGinnis and Fernando Gonzalez. Gonzalez performed pretty good at AAA. I think he at least deserves a look at spring training. And then with them both being 72, 74, I think they could both, and Harper just getting out of the draft. I actually am interested in seeing what they can both do at the major league level, at least for the spring. See if either one of them two boys can make me want to bring them up and play on the bench. Be a backup third baseman, help out with the infield works, and get more backups up here. Keith Clemens at short for sure. Nick Manton will be fighting for a roster spot. You got Bakil Badu, Daniel Cabrera still trying to fight for an outfield spot. Steele Walker at 29 years old, not fighting for it anymore, and honestly might be. I was thinking about bringing him up just because he was 29 and giving him at least a shot because he's getting older and at some point he's going to just get released, but I just didn't see any room for him. Center field, you already know we're pretty stacked there. Right field, same thing, we're pretty stacked. Chuck Bird actually ends up getting the call up. I'm not sure why, but we'll see if he's able to do anything with that deep potential. And that'll basically be how things shake out here. Final look at the rotation, how many relievers are here, who's going to be getting what kind of spots and what kind of roles, and basically we'll be flip-flopping, interchanging. Those 2 relief spots don't really get used, so we'll be kind of moving those up into like the middle relief role, dropping 2 down throughout spring training and just kind of bouncing back and forth as the battles go. Same thing here for the lineup. One lineup will play for 1 week, then we'll switch into where like the backups will play, so that way we can get starting 3 at bats a game and not just coming off the bench to get some work in and just coming in when they're tired. And then we'll flip-flop getting different guys in because we have different battles. Jake Rogers, Dylan Dingler battling out for the backup catcher role. Ryan Credler, Harper McInnes, and Fernando Gonzalez, all 3 of them fighting at third base to come up here. Jonathan Scope's pretty much, I feel like, a lock. Verling's a lock. Jace Jung's a lock. Nick Manton is fighting to get up here. Daniel Cabrera is fighting to get up here. Drew Jones, don't forget about him. He's still fighting to get up here at that 78 overall. He's got to show me something this spring. And this lineup, I think, is looking deadly. Jones, Green, Clemens, letting Guerrero hit 4. Akil Badu behind him. Gleyber Torres with a little bit more power. So Akil Badu to get on with that average after Guerrero clears him off. Torres with a little bit more power to score him around. CJ Cron with some power to score him around. And then we ended up with Torkelson forward with his speed to bring it right back up to Morris Jones on the top. Let me know what you guys think about the lineup, if you guys would do anything differently with it, if you guys would do anything differently with the rotation. And let me know who you are excited for to watch this spring, as well as don't forget that when this video drops, after you watch this video, head over to that community tab and vote for Team MVP of the 2025 season. Get ready for the 2026 season, year 4 of the franchise, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as me. As this year, I think we have made good strides to get back into that postseason work. I don't know if we'll make it to the World Series or not, but we definitely have at least made strides to show that we can be a strong team yet again like we were 2 years ago. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. I am back. Next episode will be up obviously Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be the drop schedule for this on 4 p.m. Eastern. So this will go up, I think this is going up on a Wednesday, so next video will be out Friday. So make sure you guys tune in 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Share it out with friends, family, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel, and welcome to the game. I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's me, boy SGG, aka the King of Games, aka Black Hokage, Black Avatar, King Leo, aka GM Smooth. And I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm going for the day, man. Spring training up next. Let's roll.